I have a whole weird experience over the weekend with Windows 10. So it updated, like God bless Microsoft is trying to do now. To fuck up my show, but so they changed the start menu. They got rid of all of my pins because I was trying to launch Premiere.
Pins?
Pins, yeah, pin things to the start menu. That's what it's called.
Oh, that's right. I thought that was like a pin your friends on your pin board.
That is what it is. Yeah, they're inventing terms for shit. So it's like I was fine with the previous version of Windows 10. I was like, this is pretty good. It's a snappy operating system. Sure. Now they cramp Cortana back in there. And so here's the deal. I got a review code for Recore, and I installed it on the Windows Store. It's like, hey, Microsoft's new vision of video gaming, great. So before the update, Recore was in my start menu. I could launch it just fine. Yeah. After the update, can't find it. Not on my PC at all.
Where'd it go?
And good question. So here's the really weird part. So I can launch it from the store by going to the store page where it recognizes that it's installed and I can hit play.
Sure.
But it's not in my start menu. There is no executable, so there's nothing to double click on to get it to run.
Can you search Recore?
If I do, nothing shows up. So, and here's the extra fun part. When I'm playing it, it's in the taskbar, but if I ever tab out of it, it goes away immediately. Like it's just gone. But if I run it from the store again, it comes right back up where it used to be.
What the fuck? Is it running in the cloud?
It sounds like you hate
Maybe
science.
I'm clouding.
Yeah, I think it might be clouding.
The irony is that it actually runs really well when it's running. So it's like, as long as you do it exactly like it wants you to, it's really great.
It's Microsoft's policy. Just run it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to think bigger, Lauren.
You're not thinking big enough.
I spent a long time trying to get Recore working on my TV through like a Steam link.
Yeah.
So first of all, you can make a batch file that runs a Windows process that executes the game. So then you have something you can actually run through Steam.
Right.
But that requires like pasting a lot of shit in a notepad and looking things up in the registry. Didn't want to do that. No. What you can do is just launch the game, launch big picture mode, and tab over. Because all it does is stream your desktop. Right. Except when I started doing controls, it would like move things in the background on big picture mode too. So I'd be running around and hear the bonk, bonk, bonk of the menus.
It's always funny. It does a game window and then sometimes it'll just slowly move.
Yeah.
What's happening?
And then, so I was trying to plug it into the Steam Link, so I ran a USB extension cord all the way across my fucking apartment so I could have a controller plugged into my PC and play. Yeah. And I was like, it's finally working. And then went doo-doo, and my controller just stopped working.
Nice.
That's unfortunate.
It's Norm McDonald, everybody.
Yeah,
You got Norm McDonald.
Hey, special guest.
Welcome to our...
Yeah, I kept the wrapper so I could do a little Norm McDonald thing.
There it is. There's
That's
our
how you know
celebrity.
the show starts.
Yeah.
Norm
Welcome
McDonald
to a Cortana
bits.
laced bowl of dude soup. It stops tasting good whenever it decides, not when you decide. Fucking Windows Update. 91%. This bowl is brought to you by Blue Apron and Wealthfront. You can check out this week's menu on Blue Apron for free and get 3 meals for free by going to blueapron.com/soup. And Wealthfront, I enjoy new sponsors because I get to read their offer before anyone knows what they do. So you can, with our unique URL, you will get $15,000 managed for free.
What?
$50,000 managed for free. Go to wealthfront.com/dudesoup. We'll learn more about what the hell that means later.
Settle down. Hey, I got a cough. All right.
What's that?
Looks like your microphone's turning in on itself.
Uh-oh.
Make sure it's pointed at your mouth.
You get the suicidal mic.
Nice.
There we go.
That's it. Yes, nice. So like all good podcasts, this one has a theme that's spending a shitload of money. With that in mind, let's talk about the PlayStation 4 Pro. Yes. Even though it only costs $400, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
cheap.
It's actually pretty great.
What if you already bought a PlayStation 4? Because now it's spending $800.
Hold on, you can trade it into GameStop. You get yourself maybe $50
in-store
$20.
credit.
Hot 25.
Hot 25.
I hope I
there's a
don't spend it
deal.
all in one place.
And then you'll buy the PS4 Pro.
I've never,
3 games.
I've never-
$60.
so I've never been laughed at more than a GameStop.
Sign up for the
like
subscription
in
plan.
person.
What do you mean?
Like I'll go there. I remember I asked for the Xbox. Most recently, I was like, "Hey, do you have the Xbox Elite controller? I really don't want to buy it." And they just went, It was like, not the response I was looking for, but all right, I'll try Best Buy. Best Buy had it. It was fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It's just. And then I remember one time there was another guy having a conversation. I wanted to buy something, and he was talking about side scrollers. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I think Beautiful Joe's like a really good side scroller." And then he stopped, looked at me, and did the Beautiful Joe, get out. Like I was maybe like I don't know 16 at the time, but
Well, you're allowed to have an
GameStop
opinion.
is weird because it's like one of the few retail spots where it's like you have to have a pre-interest in what we sell in our product before you even think about going there. Like no one just is like walking by and they see in the window
games.
help one and they're like, yeah, I guess I'll work there. No, they're like I love games. I got 100% on Final Fantasy IX.
I'm a blogger, and I have been for 10 years.
So I'm going to work at GameStop.
I was rejected from Hollywood Video and Game Crazy.
You were rejected?
Yeah, they said I was too confident.
They
I can
said
see
about
that.
you?
I can see that,
that
on
makes sense,
Adam,
actually.
though.
I was like, I know a lot about movies and games, and we don't want you here.
That's your problem.
Man, you guys couldn't wait to get off topic. That's okay though.
Sorry.
That's not this podcast.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
No,
Sony,
it's fine.
Sony.
Let me read my stupid notes and then you can go wherever you want with it.
Absolutely.
PS4 Pro, November 10th, $400, 4K resolution, HDR.
That's upscale though, probably, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No way. Can they? Hey, we're back. All right. 4.2 teraflops of power.
That's a lot of teraflops.
That's a lot of flops. 1 terabyte hard drive. No 4K Blu-ray disc.
Oh, come on now.
Does anyone give a shit?
It,
You can't work here.
So here are just some bits. I'll just throw a little salt on it. You guys can take it wherever you want, and then that includes anecdotes about it playing Hollywood Video. So
they went out of business.
They did.
the Xbox One S does support 4K Blu-ray, which is kind of weird, and that's out now. It can maybe finally do 1080p 60 FPS, but definitely not 4K.
Wait, the original Xbox?
Sorry, no, the PlayStation 4 Pro.
The Pro, yeah.
The Scorpio, which is coming out next year,
Yep.
Microsoft calls the most powerful console ever at 6 teraflops.
Okay.
Which are even more flops.
Can't hold all these flops.
Yeah,
That's a
too
lot of
many
flops
flops
I got.
And hey, fuck it, just for fun, a GTX 1080 is 8.2 teraflops. So
I mean, that's pretty good though. Like the
Yeah.
980s and like
They're getting there.
the cards that are what $200-300. That'll get you maybe a little more than Scorpio.
The flop to
Yeah,
flop
absolutely.
ratios.
that's
the
some
reflops.
it's
Oh,
over
they
flopping.
put Edge back on the start menu just where I wanted it.
Yeah, that's where they. Oh yeah, I love that. They're like,
Every time.
we noticed you took the Windows Store off of your.
Don't worry.
We
went
your
ahead and
taskbar.
we
updated
figured
your
that was a
default
mistake.
browser.
I know. Here's the
Ooh,
internet.
boy,
I
the
mean,
start
Edge.
menu is just full of shit again.
Yeah.
Ooh, Razor
So-
Synapse right in there.
The console war is hotter than ever.
It's back, baby. So PlayStation
So
has
tepid.
PlayStation has the Pro console coming out this year, but an even more powerful Xbox is coming next year. We don't know how much it's going to cost, or if it supports Blu-ray 4K.
It better. I mean, like, if Microsoft is smart because they got beaten in the initial race.
Differentiating factor, sure.
Yeah.
So what do you guys make of it?
Well, I saw an interesting discussion about this online. Like there were people like
Notifications on
arguing in the comments. It's actually rather civil, but someone made an excellent point where they said that consoles are really just kind of for the layman, everyday man. It was like, I just want something that I plug in and it works and I can play my Madden and everything's cool. Average guy doesn't give a shit about teraflops or gigabits or gigaflops.
That's what I don't understand.
And it's such a strange thing to come out and be like, look how powerful our hardware is, when it's like the people who are interested in those hardware specs are just going to laugh at what you do no matter what and go, because they're going to build a PC or they're going to be more into the PC gaming landscape. Like, the GTX 1080 can do this and that. It's like, right, but your everyday consumer isn't interested in a GTX 1080 because that requires screws and knobs and things that are already way too complicated for that individual.
It's interesting because Andrew House said basically that they were trying to stave off the Sony audience from heading to PC. Like this is their attempt to be like, we're keeping you on console and keeping you from going to PC. But in the same respect, they're not providing a powerful enough. This is the closest to, but it's still not near the power of PC. And they're not encouraging cross-platform compatibility, which like Microsoft seems to be doing in spades. Lawrence can't get Record to load.
You got the video up. About,
Yeah,
you got the video up.
Oh yeah, so code provided by Microsoft. Thanks you for that. I was able to play Recore despite Windows 10's best efforts to prevent me from doing so. Over the weekend, captured
metagame.
about an hour of it. I'm enjoying the first hour.
Why do they float up like that?
And
Double jump.
Also, was it this choppy?
No, it's fucking streaming over
it's streaming.
Drive.
Okay, all right.
Because we were recording until 20 minutes ago, and I didn't have time to download the fucking thing, and it would take 20 minutes to transfer to a USB drive, and it's just been one problem on top of another.
I don't understand consoles anymore. Like, I mean, it should. I want it to be more like Call of Duty. Consoles should be like Call of Duty.
Like simple.
Yeah, it should be built on a like piece of hardware that's like 15 years old, and they should just add like a grappling hook. Like a PS4 Pro for me is a PS4 with a handle.
Yeah.
That's what it should be, because then that seems like something that like Adam is describing. The person who doesn't care would be like, cool, a handle. Right. Like this, I might actually use this.
I just being a consumer who is on all sides of it, handheld, PC, and console, there's such a discrepancy between the console and then when you build like a higher to mid, above mid-range PC where you go, oh, a game can run at 120 frames per second. Sign me up. But then you have to buy the $400 monitor that can do that.
Everything.
Yeah. No, and you have to have the patience in order to do that, and then the ability to complain about it every step of the way, even when you're playing it and enjoying yourself. Whereas like on the console, like it's almost like living in ignorance, where you're like, you know what, this is what it's like. This is what I want to do. Simple, done. And it's like, it's good for that audience.
Well, these companies know what they're doing because, like, when they release PS4 Pro and they tell us about teraflops, they're only telling us. You guys realize that, like, nobody else gives a shit about teraflops. So, like, your aunt or uncle or nephew or whatever, they're gonna go, oh, a new PS4 is out. It's called the PS4 Pro. I want to buy it. And it's the same with the Xbox One. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh man, it's got 8.2 teraflops and it can do all 4K. Blah. They don't care. It's just a new Xbox.
But that's why I don't even understand why they're telling us.
Well,
are we like blown away by this, or is anyone here impressed by the teraflops?
I think some people that don't know what it means are impressed.
Oh, sure.
Like, oh, it's a teraflop.
I know, but those people, they're not even saying this to them.
it's like a power level. So, I mean,
Well, it's just a number at that point where you're like, it's the iPhone 7. It has a bigger number. Is it better?
Even
I don't
Dragon
know.
Ball Z did away with power levels eventually. They realized that was stupid.
well, so that wasn't their leading marketing material. I think maybe there's a bit of a misconception there.
This is just
No,
to talk
that's
to
what I'm
the-
saying.
It's just to talk to the enthusiasts.
But it's to talk to the enthusiasts who thinks that this is worthless anyway.
Well, there are a lot of people.
disagree.
I was gonna say, I think we're.
Are you
gonna-
impressed by these stats?
I'm impressed that they're sharing them.
So you're not impressed by the stats, though?
No.
Okay.
But it's a good signifier of how powerful it will be because they didn't share the actual hardware
I
configuration.
also think we are in the minority. I think a lot of people right now are arguing, like Adam said, in the comments section about how many teraflops something has.
Sure.
And because I see that argument a lot, and it's like this.
It's the two 16-year-olds. It's
Right.
been the same two.
It's
for
the enthusiasts that
decades.
think they're enthusiasts, not the actual people that are like been doing it for 15 years like we have. So I think we're a little more jaded and a little more like we understand the product cycle.
Oh, man.
It's just-
I'm not jaded at all. I'm
It's just-
excited for all this.
It's just weird. It's
Well, no,
weird.
sure,
it seems
but-
like you're selecting a group within a group within a group, and then you're like, here you go.
I-
Here's this info.
Are you
Like,
questioning their decision to share that information at all?
No, I'm just like I don't care. It doesn't. I don't know who this matters to. Like the only person who might get excited for this is Greg Miller, and if they said it lacked any teraflops, he'd still be excited.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like, Sony is so influences its audience by its catalog, and there is going to be somebody out there that goes, I can play Uncharted 4 in 4K.
Yeah.
Like, yes, absolutely, I want to see that
Yeah.
game in that.
And then
in
they
that-
plug it into their 1080p Vizio, and it has motion smoothing on there.
Yeah.
Wow, Grandma, you're right. The graphics are good.
Greatness awaits, and it has arrived.
I honestly think that's a good example, though. I wish that they would say what it means in terms of the games.
Well, it shows side by side. That'd be awesome if they showed like Uncharted 4 on a PS4 and Uncharted 4 on a PS4 Pro.
But then
that would be nice. I know. I
You
know
need
what you're
to
gonna
be
say.
a monitor
we
in
need
order
to
to
be able to-
display it.
It's weird because it seems like they used to do that. They'd be like, now there's 99 nights, which has 99 characters on the screen, and I'm like, I understand
Yeah.
that kind of. I guess I could see how that would affect me playing a game. Is now before there was no way for me to fight 99 people, but now I can fight 99
I see.
people.
I think I get what you're getting.
That it's a number. Thank you for the number. It means nothing, and to the people that it might mean something to, it means nothing also.
I disagree. I think the people that it means something to, it still means something to them. I also think that kind of what you're getting at is it's been talked about a lot this generation, the idea of diminishing returns when it comes to tech.
Yeah.
So like going from 2D to rudimentary 3D. 3D sucked ass, but it was still awesome. Like seeing polygons running around as Mario. That was a pretty crazy step up. And then going from shitty 3D to pretty good 3D with like PS2 360 era. That was like, it was easy to tell what there was to do.
Graphics.
Yeah. Now we have games like Uncharted 4 that look amazing. Maybe not as perfect as they possibly could, but pretty damn good enough. And then to say, but wait, what if that was HDR and like the lights were a little lighter and the darks were a little darker, and also was kind of 4K but not really, and there were more flops? It's like, well, the game's already there.
I
and
mean,
it's
And that's
exactly
minutia,
as playable.
right?
That goes back to my inherent problem with this technology race. It doesn't it doesn't matter.
So
To
I-
the-
to me
the
it's
masses.
like to me it's like Overwatch is the best looking game currently available.
Oh, well, then you're getting into like a kind of time-honored argument in games design, which is
Stylistic.
yeah, fidelity versus style.
Yeah.
But that's obviously your opinion in the sense that like it's subjective. You can say I really like this style versus this other style. I don't know where the subjective stops.
Yeah, but
You know?
I mean, I think I think if you could go back in time and you showed people Uncharted, they'd say this is the greatest looking game ever. And then you show them Uncharted 4 and they go, this is the greatest looking game ever. And then they're just going to keep saying that, and that never means anything to me.
Interesting.
When if it isn't like stylistically in some ways interesting.
When's the last time a game technically impressed you? Like you were just like, motherfucker, that looks so amazing. Just like how smooth it was and how beautiful it was and how many like sparkles were on the screen and shit like that.
Uncharted 4.
I mean, I saw Uncharted 4, but even that, it's like, all right, well, I have to arc the camera down so that way he can get a cool backlight.
Yeah.
Like, that's me. I know, but that's me doing it. Like,
I know.
it didn't blow me away.
Always an advocate for style over like graphical impressiveness.
Heavy rains.
But like style over fidelity. But I feel like I used to traditionally gravitate more to stylistic games because I just thought that they could look good on their own merit. Like Catherine, still to this day looks great just because it's that style. But now like the fidelity has caught up that it can support a style further into its life.
Yeah.
But for me, like I would love to play Last Guardian when it comes out on a super powered console, but I'm not going to get a PlayStation Pro just for that game. I'm probably thinking that maybe I'm going to get the Xbox One Scorpio if it enables platform compatibility for us.
Oh.
Because we have one PC at home.
So then you could do PC versus Xbox, or PC with
like
Xbox.
If it was
or
like we could play Overwatch, I could play on the Xbox One, and we can play together. That'd be more beneficial for us.
Yeah, and obviously those are like I think that's what we're getting to with consoles. Like Adam always says, consoles as a service, less of a box now, and we're almost there with the PS4. I always forget the name of the service, PlayStation Now.
Yeah. No, it's on PC.
It's all going to just be cloud-based.
But I think this is just, they have to refresh the cycle every 2-3 years because, again, you're going to see at Christmas and Thanksgiving, all your family's going to be like, hey, I heard there's a new Xbox out. Like, how much is
Scorpio,
that?
Mom.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah.
It's got teraflops.
It's like, how much is that? And like,
dumb bitch.
And they're going to say, is it better than the other Xbox? And you're going to say yes. And that's going to, and that'll be the extent of the conversation. But it's another way to get their name into the media. But I think, first, what we're talking about with like how you're saying the numbers don't matter, the teraflops don't matter. I feel like Sony won the enthusiast market before Xbox did in 2013.
Sure.
They knew who they were talking to. So I don't know if they know who they're talking to anymore. Maybe they do. But they won that battle first. So I feel like they're trying to win that battle again by going to the gamers first and saying like, it does all this stuff, but then we're also going to nail the actual system before it comes out. I'm not sure.
Phil Spencer's been doing a good job with that, leading that charge in terms of like, hey, you know what? We're PC guys, and they're kind of like, okay, Gears of War coming to PC. They just put Halo 5 out basically for free. There's no campaign or matchmaking, but people are getting into work and they're already making updates for it for a free 30 gigabyte download of Halo 5.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the game looks beautiful and it supports 4K. Like that's pretty cool. Like they're playing a lot of catch up. Whereas like I think Sony could literally take a dump on your chest and people would applaud them for it and say thank you so much. Well, it's like going back to the Uncharted thing. It's with like a lot of things in media where I'm really tired of people telling me what I should like when they're like, God, you're fucking stupid if you don't like Uncharted. Where I'm like, yeah, I thought it was a beautiful game, but then when I tried aiming at a guy, I did this, and then I did that, and then I'm like, I can't fucking aim with this thing. And they're like, well, there's an option to just auto-target. Like, oh, so it's kind of like Heavy Rain.
So the game plays itself.
Kind of, and like it's visually stunning, but then on the flip side, Doom blew me away, where I'm like, Doom is style, substance, control, everything. And I value control over a game more than anything else where it feels intuitive. And then like Doom was the whole package, but it also was tailored to me. I just don't need someone to come up to me and tell me I'm wrong because I like one thing over another. I don't know. It's like, I thought Uncharted was beautiful. I don't have a problem with it.
Well,
I don't need a 4K TV. It's not going to make me enjoy the game more. I still haven't actually finished it. And it's just more of like, I just lost interest.
It's weird too because now we're getting to the point, it's very much the PC point where they're not even really going like, you need to get this so you can play this. Like I'm thinking like 32X, arguably one of the most worthless pieces of trash, still was marketed as, you need this because it'll let you play Cosmic Carnage. you need this because it'll let you play Knuckles Chaotix or whatever, right? Like, and I know that's their easy way of explaining to you what it does, but it's like it doesn't even seem like that's happening with this. This is not just PS Pro or anything. This is Xbox One S. This is Scorpio. Like, no, they're not even leading with that. They're not even saying you need this console to play this. It's just like, no, it'll still play your old shit.
Isn't that good?
Just 10% better.
I don't think so. I mean, to me, it's like, all
trying to
right,
make
I'm just going to get a PC.
Oh, I see.
Well, yeah, because there used to be games that were direct system sellers, like PS3 until Metal Gear Solid 4 come out didn't sell, and Gran Turismo.
Like, all you're basically doing is now you're going into the options for me and changing the resolution. I don't know. Like.
Well, okay, so you're making the argument as somebody who's coming from the PC side. Can you see then the appeal of that from somebody who's coming from the console side?
Yeah.
Well, but I did come. I haven't been PC until the last couple of years.
But now you realize your mind is open to the PC world, and I'm like, and I mean that in a kind of joking but serious way too.
No, but
like
the motivations for me as a console person were always like, well, I want to play these games, so I'm going to play these games in this console, not necessarily how well the game's played.
The exclusives
or
tied to that.
How then the minutia, now it's even to the minutia of the game that is being played.
Yeah.
So it's no longer 720, it's 1080. And like,
well, also you don't like Uncharted or Last of Us, like that's not your thing. So it's really hard for them to sell another system to you personally. Because I mean, like the same with me. I don't give a shit. You know, like I don't.
It seems strange though when the biggest selling point typically that I'm seeing with these are 4K. So like
an HDR, baby.
Well, sure, but they're like it's only $400. You get HD. I'm like, cool. My TV's 1080p. Well, you need to buy a $1,200 4K TV now.
I mean, yes and no. It will improve performance on 1080p games as well.
Sure, yeah, I've seen the 10% boost and like.
Oh, that was for the One S.
Oh,
the next consoles are much more than.
I do think James is right though. They should release a side by side or something to show you how much better the Pro
really
is.
doesn't exist yet. It should for the Pro.
Well,
I wish that they would be like. I wish that they would be like, here's something that you wouldn't be able to do with this, because it seems like most of the marketing is no, it's okay.
So wait a minute.
You can keep playing the stuff that you're already playing.
It actually probably
but now
doesn't
you can
exist
pay
for
us
the Pro,
again.
because it's up to the developers to retrofit. They were going to push out like HDR patches and stuff like that.
Got it.
Theoretically, just by increasing the base stats of the hardware, as long as it has the same API, it will run better. Yeah. That's happened with the Xbox One S already. So yeah, it is kind of weird that they're going to go to retail with this in 2 months.
I'm not, for the record, I'm not begrudging anyone that's interested in buying these. I'm not like a PC elitist. If you like your console and you like it simple and everything like that, that's totally awesome. I've seriously considered just getting like a little PC box, putting it behind a TV, so that way I don't even have to think about running a cord or do anything more complex than that.
Steam Link.
Yeah, like a Steam Link or something. But it's just, I don't understand this marketing. Is my thing.
I see. Well, it's marketing that doesn't exist yet. This is the first time that this has ever happened.
That's the problem. People hate marketing that doesn't exist yet. This is No Man's Sky and everything.
I see.
It's marketing for. It's gonna be something someday. Yeah. It's the Kickstarter or the Patreon. It's all these things that make a promise.
I think Lawrence and Bruce could probably attest to this. But remember growing up and you'd go to your dad's house because your parents are divorced and you try to get a PC game to run, and it would finally run after running 6 different DOS commands and getting the shareware program to get the right drivers and the right version of Windows 95 or whatever was running. And finally Command and Conquer would load and be like, loading. And then load. You're in, it's chugging, it's working, it's good.
Skipping, yeah.
And then you went to your friend's house and you had an N64 and you went, boom, oh, we're already in the game, holy shit.
So Command and Conquer on 64 sucked, dude.
No, not 64, I'm talking about PC.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
making
like,
a false
but then, well, like you play like Mario and it's just like, holy shit, I'm already in the game. Or like Zelda, like that took 4.5 seconds. Oh my god.
Except consoles don't work that way anymore.
That's what I mean though. Yeah. Now it's sort of like
more complicated.
It's weird that PCs it's flipped now where most of the time it's like download on Steam, go, you have a solid state, you're in, you're ready to go.
It's also weird too because like I mean this is totally unique to like probably us situation, but stuff like the same PCs that we use in this office to play games on are the ones that we use for work. So you come in, you're like, I'm going to do some work today. You turn on your computer, Steam maybe opens, starts updating your stuff in the background. So when it is time for us to play GTA, It's ready to go. I'm genuinely scared to turn on my Xbox One.
Because it'll update.
Genuinely frightened because I don't know what's going to happen when it does, and I don't know what I'll be able to play.
That happened. One of my cats brushed against the Xbox as they do, and it turned on. I was like, oh no, no. And then I have a monitor that uses dual inputs, and it does auto switch on HDMI. So I was like in the middle of Overwatch, like, no, and it switched over to Xbox, and it's like updating, controller not detected, updating. And I was like, it's just like all these wires.
I have just a sound bar that
it
it has
switches?
pass through, and it just turns it off. Like it just turns off the sound bar. So I'll be like, I'm done playing Xbox One. I'll go back to the TV and there's no sound, and then I'll look and the whole sound bar, nothing else.
What?
No other console. When I plug the PC in, nothing
have your
turns
Kinect
off
plugged
the
in?
sound bar. What?
Do you have your Kinect plugged in?
I don't think I do anymore. No.
Interesting. Okay. There's some
Maybe
infrared
it
bullshit.
plugged
it
itself
plugged in?
back
I don't
in.
think it is.
I don't think it's plugged in
What are you
anymore. It
looking
just,
up over there?
but it's like the Xbox
games.
console is like, we'll handle this for you. Nothing. Like you can't watch TV anymore.
Who would want to?
Why?
Elise is going to give us reasons why.
Oh,
Here's some of the reasons, the games, Lawrence, that
oh,
are
okay.
They showed a lot of amazing games in
Yeah.
that PlayStation reveal, by the way.
like some old ones, Last of Us.
I want to play
Remastered,
Horizon Zero
stuff
Dawn
that
in the
feels
absolute
right.
highest spec possible.
Yeah,
To me,
Horizon
that's
Zero
worth.
Dawn, that looks
You
I'm
know,
nice.
excited
but yeah,
for that as a game. Yes, very.
That's
excited.
coming to Battlefield 1,
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2, For Honor, Days Gone. We always
Days
forget
Gone
about
looks
that.
awesome.
Mass Effect Andromeda, Final Fantasy 15, Steep. You guys remember Steep?
Yeah.
The snowboarding
snowboarding
game?
I do
game.
remember
Oh, yeah.
that.
All
Yeah.
games that we can play on our PS4, right?
Those are all the games.
Yes,
coming?
but
I think
That's
that's all.
gonna be in 4K
I mean,
though.
I guess is 60 FPS worth $400 to you?
No, probably not.
there
Not
you go.
really.
Well, so for me, like that's what I was saying. Like I could just go back to what I started with, which was I would just sell my old PS4. I would be like, here's $100 or $200 or whatever you can sell it for on Craigslist, and then I just buy the new one because like that way you're basically upgrading for $200 rather than $400, and then having an extra console.
The Xbox update to me made sense because I was like, oh, I could finally get rid of the power brick. Like it
Yeah.
meant
Oh,
like
yeah.
getting
It's
rid of
smaller.
clutter.
Yeah.
For the PlayStation, like it's bigger.
It's larger.
Yeah.
weird.
It's like I'm just 2 steps forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, it's
like,
kind of
damn
weird.
it.
It is kind of weird.
They're so close. Also, they're so close. I think this is both of these companies hedging their bets.
Yeah.
Because the fact that I can log onto my PC right now and play God of War
Oh, yeah.
is like, okay, all right. This is them creating a little pond for me to play in.
Because of PS Now.
Well, the big
whatever,
pond,
yeah.
they can get as much money as they can from the big pond now, but
I
then
see.
eventually it's all going to move to the little pond. We're going to create an inlet.
They know, by the way, like they probably think we're dumb and funny that we're talking about this if they ever see it, because they already know that plan.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
have that plan 10, 15 years planned out. So it's like they're like, yeah, we're gonna release another console. It'll sell for another year. It'll make us another, $20, $30 million or whatever it is. Maybe a lot more than that. But after that, we understand we're gonna move on to the next thing, which is PlayStation Now
Just
or
using it to
whatever.
buy servers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's just padding their pockets. But again, this
Those
is something.
Sony fat cats.
This is well, I mean, like not
Big
necessarily.
PlayStation at it again.
There was the remember the story about the NX? How they're talking about how it could be cloud driven
Oh,
and
yeah.
networked
Right.
and like.
There's no way that's actually going to be
You
real.
just stack a bunch
Well,
of
No
NXs.
fucking way.
Well, no, but it is kind of funny to think that.
10 years maybe.
Well, remember how PlayStation 3 they used the PlayStation 3s as servers for Warhawk, I remember, and then
Because you can install Linux on
and
it.
then you could use it as a server for folding at home, where it's like you're gonna cure cancer by running your electricity bill
Still
up.
got canceled.
Yeah, cancer's still here, and I mean, yeah, now we got CRISPR, and that's gonna solve cancer. I want to live forever. It's funny to think that maybe they are creating an install base of PS4s, and those will eventually be the servers that power the PlayStation Now, so that your PlayStation is not actually playing a game; it's just networked and powering other games.
They would
It's
have
be
funny.
paying me.
Well, that's the thing. They would, what I would love, and this was actually in the patent Nintendo filed, is that if you offered up your console to the cloud,
Yes.
they would credit you in some way.
That's so cool.
Because they have to pay for your electricity. Because
Yeah.
that shit uses electricity and
Right.
it costs money.
But I mean, maybe that's Sony's.
kind of like all the idiots.
That's their
running
10-year
Bitcoin at
plan.
home.
It might be.
I'm making money. No, you're paying because your computer is running at 100. Never mind.
Well, eventually they're just going to
Processing
give
has
us.
blockchain.
They're just going to give us the console for free, right? And then
Yeah.
they'll just be like, plug it in and run it.
You gotta work it off.
And then yeah,
It's like Rent-A-Center.
We'll give you 3 free
Yeah.
games, and then it'll run as a server for a year.
Getting
Right.
a modem from your.
You just have to
cable.
pay for the
Yeah,
electricity.
exactly.
Well, you know what's more important than running a console free is eating food. Because in the future we won't have any. We'll be getting our free PlayStations and eating our space food, and that's going to be our sad
Just
existence.
pills?
Yeah. taking powder pills and playing Horizon Zero Dawn 5.
IV drips.
Could be worse.
Horizon 5 Dawn.
Nice.
But you can eat actual food through the mail and not even have to work that hard through Blue Apron, which is a sponsor of this podcast. So I love reading recipes. They sent us another selection of this week's recipes, so I'm going to read them now. If you sign up for Blue Apron, you can have paprika spiced shrimp and cheddar grits with tomato and sweet corn, spicy hoisin chicken stir fry with baby bok choy, sesame, ginger, cucumber salad, eggplant and chickpea tangine with island pepper, tomato, and couscous. And you can also have summer udon noodle salad with cherry tomatoes, corn, and sweet summer pepper. That all sounds delicious, and it actually was. That was last week's recipe lineup. So
I like chuckly tube stuff.
I made 3 out of 4 of those things, and they were very, very good. So yeah, they say new recipes are created weekly, not repeated within a year. I can attest to that. I've been signing up for it ever since that they sponsored our podcast, and I've had a wonderful time. All of the recipes are wonderfully diverse and pretty delicious. It was only one that fell a little flat. Only one. And I might have fucked it up. Who knows? I probably didn't put enough salt in it. I'm learning that that's the secret ingredient to every good recipe, salt.
I only recently discovered that you can slice up a tomato and then just put salt and pepper on it.
Tastes amazing.
And it's good, but up until that point, the thought of just eating a sliced tomato made me gag.
Yeah.
The texture.
It's just like I was like, ugh.
Not enough salt?
It's like bloody water.
I had a potato for dinner last night.
Just one
So,
potato?
I had half a bag of potato chips. Then I ate the baked potato and 2 glasses of chocolate milk.
Yeah, it was funny.
dream.
Yeah.
Because Elise
YouTuber
is
life.
like,
Man, it was rough.
Elise is like, I'll handle dinner
sorry.
tonight.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Put baked potatoes
Okay.
in foils.
We're in the middle of an
I'm
entry.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's
I
all
never
right.
know when you're done. You're so smooth.
You'll know when I do the mandatory read, which is
Sorry.
coming up.
So I need Blue Apron more than anyone, clearly.
You can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/soup. They say you will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. I think I can agree with that. And also, it feels good to chop things and not hurt yourself, which is kind of a unique experience for me. So that's blueapron.com/soup. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Thank you for your sponsorship and your delicious meals. All right.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Lawrence.
it's okay.
Sorry, but I feel like I cut you off every week during that ad read.
No. It's
You talk about potatoes.
I am uniquely blessed to run a podcast with people who have a lot of interesting and entertaining things to say about pretty much everything.
And interrupting constantly.
Yeah, I can't wait.
What if
to
we were
hear 'em.
hanging on every one of your words about blue, or just like, what else? To man,
Tell us more.
That would
I have nothing else to offer. I just want to hear you talk.
that would be a little
Good
more creepy.
podcast.
I don't know where that was going.
I don't know.
So what, you guys? So James definitively not on board PlayStation Pro.
It's not just PlayStation. I think the Xbox,
Any upgraded console at all?
The Xbox One S's best feature is the fact that, well, it has an S in the title, and that it's smaller.
Okay.
Takes up less space.
PlayStation Pro is bigger. Also, the design sucks ass. They just put another wafer
Just
on top.
stacked it. Yeah.
I don't know. Adam, how you feeling about that
I
Pro?
feel like I wish cryogenic freezing existed because I feel like we're going to be in this.
It's a really complicated answer.
Well, I don't think games are going to change much for the next 10 years, unfortunately.
They are.
I feel like we're just in this cycle. I don't know.
Oh, we're definitely going to change. I mean,
What's-
we're going to be amazed at what we see in 10 years.
Mobile's changing a lot.
Yeah.
Mobile, sure. I think mobile games. It's so weird. I feel like I'm just at this sort of we're in this lull where it's like I see Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, that looks really cool. You're probably gonna go to a lot of towers and you're probably gonna shoot some things and there's gonna be a cool moment and then your all father will die and then you be sad. But then the true happens and then you move on.
We're in the age of perfection, though.
I see.
I believe that we may not see new game plays, but we will see the best version of game mechanics and stuff that have been around forever.
Hold
That's
on.
what I believe.
What about Sean Murray innovating with No Man's Sky?
That's what I'm
You
saying.
ever think about that?
It's the best version
It was
of
innovative.
the No Man's Sky that was promised.
Right.
No Man's Sky's PlayStation VR 4K.
Whoa.
Is that coming?
That's
4K?
right.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
What else do you
render
want?
it
I think stuff like Overwatch is like we can do a first-person shooter, team-based first-person shooter, a concept that's been around forever, and we're gonna do it better than you've probably ever played it before. And you're gonna have an amazing time doing it. I think we're gonna see more stuff like that. So I don't know if it'll be Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever, but I think that might be an example of like, oh, all these games where you're just running around and doing fetch stuff. This is gonna be the super fun one. Like,
Huh.
I have 96 hours logged on quick play for Overwatch.
Oh, for Overwatch, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what Blizzard does. They perfect games. They don't make them.
Right. Yeah.
So like they take formulas and they make them the best they've ever been.
Yeah.
So Adam
No, I'm
is experiencing some kind of philosophical
I'm,
crisis.
I'm,
about
in,
games.
I'm indifferent because this is just, it's going to be a cycle. that's going to repeat itself for a while. So I'm just sort of like, yep, it is what it is. I will accept it. I understand it.
Does that mean you're going to buy one or not?
Nah.
Until they
Just at
show
the GameStop. You buying one or not?
until they show me what it
Then he
definitively
laughs.
means, then I'm not buying it, or at least will buy it.
Crackdown.
I've had a 4K TV in my Amazon wish list for about 2 years, and I just keep looking
Seeing
at
the
it.
price go
The price
down.
goes down
Hint,
like
hint.
$2 a week.
That's what I'm supposed to buy, Adam?
Yeah.
What?
For Christmas?
No. I'm just. I've yet to.
Yeah, I know.
No one's giving me a good reason to get a 4K TV.
No, there is no good.
PS4
There is
Pro.
no good.
Knowing our
You know-
audience, they're going to be like,
Dude.
Adam, we felt bad
This
for
was
you
the
on the
best.
podcast.
These were the
Here's 4K
best.
TV.
This is the best purchase I've gotten in a long time.
Oh no, we're old.
Glasses.
HD glasses.
I put them on. I was like, oh god, I've been watching blurry television
Yeah, you
for.
have.
You're like
Years.
Jasmine.
Bruce, PlayStation 4 Pro, yeah or
Fuck
nay?
no. I mean, like, I don't even have a PlayStation 4. So, I mean, like, the thing is that I think Lawrence is the quintessential video gamer. So you have every console, you have PC, you do everything, which I love.
Here, I have a news
I
I think I like hearing that. Yeah.
No, I love that. I think that's awesome.
myself out of the
But for me, I am a quintessential PC gamer. I do everything on PC. I have yet to see a video game that I see that I'm like the only game in recent memory that I was like, ooh,
Detroit Almost Human. The
Heavy
robot
Rain.
feels. The robot's got feelings.
should I play it? Should I play it on console because that's the only place I can get it? Can
Why
you
was I
guess?
programmed to feel?
Can you guess what video game it
on,
was?
let me
There's only
see.
one video game I wanted to play.
Hold on.
What did you say? What did you say? Star Wars Battlefront. That's on PC.
Okay,
Oh, you know
well, Bruce,
what? was it?
whatever.
Was it GTA 5?
No,
Quantum
Okay.
Break.
no.
No.
Not gonna
There's
break.
this
I mean,
one.
that was so TV. I
There's
was like,
one very very typical
Is it
Bruce game.
recent. Oh.
It's Destiny.
Oh.
Destiny was the only game that I was like, oh man, like I should play this on Xbox maybe. And the more that I thought about it, I was like, I really want to be good at this game. It's a first-person shooter. I'm going to be garbage on it with a controller, so I have to stick to PC. So there is no reason for me to buy Scorpio, although Scorpio sounds more appealing than PS4 Pro. So if
Yes.
I were to buy a new console, that's the one I would buy, but I'm probably not going
Is
to.
your TV 4K?
It is not. And I actually decided to not invest in the 4K TV.
You went curved.
I went OLED. Curved I don't give two shits about. OLED is what I wanted. And it was a 1080p OLED that I paid the same price as I could have gotten a 4K. And reviews and everybody else are saying OLED 1080p is way better than LCD or LED 4K. And I was like, no problem, done and done. So I did that instead, and I'm infinitely happy with it. So,
But it's less resolution.
but it's less resolution. It is not 4K.
But it less
The-
is what you're
Right,
saying.
but unfortunately, there's no content right
don't have
now
4K, right?
No.
that I can get in 4K.
slow-mo guys.
Slow.
James and I, we go home every night. We sit down. We put on a new slow-mo, guys.
That's-
I was gonna say that was the thing. Like I went to your guys' house and you're like, oh, you know, we got this 4K TV from Costco. I was like, let's check it out. What do you have?
Yeah.
And they're like,
Slow-mo
"Slow-mo
guys.
and we watched it and we're like,
Push through YouTube compression.
Could you tell?
no.
I think that's Gavin.
So imagine that instead of calling it a PlayStation 4 Pro, it's a 4K video streamer, and suddenly you have a 30 million unit install base. You better believe production's going to follow that.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
there's nothing that can play your stream 4K because there aren't many 4K sets out there. But Sony takes the lead on it. They say this is the new standard. Get a fucking 4K TV, and then suddenly YouTube and Netflix have a reason to push that a little more.
No, it's
You
gonna
can
come.
do Netflix 4K.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, you have to
but
pay a little bit
It's
more.
gonna come in the next couple of
Sorry,
years.
at least play PS4 Pro.
I don't know what the PS4 Pro can do that the Xbox One can't do for $100 less.
Gauntlet Throne.
So,
Play higher frames and more bits.
well, okay. So I'm gonna say get the Xbox One S if you have to. It's got mods on it
I
too.
was about to bring that up. Yeah.
Bethesda.
You gotta wait for Scorpio though.
But you gotta wait for Scorpio is where I'm coming around to because there's.
Gotta do the
But
Sting.
in my case, we'll probably only get the
Scorpio.
Scorpio if I don't have a PC by
I
then.
was gonna say, here's my proposition to you. I get a 1080, and then you take my graphics
No,
card.
he's always trying to give me his
And everybody's
antenna
happy.
down.
I did that
Take
with
my
Jess, and
trash.
she's never been happier. I
She was
tell
complaining
myself.
about it the other day,
I
right
know.
in front of you.
I know.
Tell myself.
But every time I hear her complain, I go, I can't hear you. I'm playing Overwatch. It's so loud.
How are my
lonely.
old noise canceling headphones? Because my new ones are great.
Always trying to do. You know what we do? Like we'll be on a plane together, and he's got really, really beautiful headphones. I've got $12 earbuds that I got on Amazon that I had to replace because I dropped the first pair in the toilet. But he's got these amazing headphones and he goes to sleep on the plane, and he's wearing these headphones, and I'm trying to listen to Mother's Day because I've got to know what Jennifer Aniston's bitching about now.
You gotta up her allowance.
I can't hear anything.
Well, the weird thing is too, it's not like some mystical man just appeared at our doorstep and said, "You get one," and then I went, "No," and took it away. I was like, you know, I've been looking at these headphones. I think I'm gonna buy them. So I went and bought them before we went to Australia because I knew that was gonna be a really long flight. And I was like, I will use those for enough time to justify the cost. I was like, maybe you should get a pair too. And she went, "No, I have earbuds and they work just fine." And then she put foil around a potato and threw it in the oven. Dinner.
All my disposable income goes to Benson.
that's
Raising
wild.
Benson, take care of
Absolutely.
Benson.
What, gotta keep crimping that ear down?
Putting him through college? What?
He doesn't really cost that much at all. I don't know.
Saving for his grave.
I mean, you like if you don't want to go the cheap James hand-me-down route, which is, I mean, honestly, I did it with Jess because it was like, hey, do you want to spend
Take my trash.
$1,300 for a PC? I was like, do you want to spend $1,300? I got her PC bill down to like $600. I was like,
pretty good.
that's not bad, right? For like, okay.
I mean, it's easy to get the price down when it's just your trash.
Wearing a tweed
wasn't
jacket.
trash.
Hey,
You don't need a case.
I got a deal for you, baby.
Here's the thing. Forget about a case. We just use the Amazon box that this stuff came in.
I bought her.
Throws the parts in.
Just
plug it in.
I didn't buy her, but she got a new case, graphics card, and like hard drives. That was all she needed because I gave her the motherboard and the RAM and everything. I'm like,
So
I
generous.
can put it together. It's only had like a few hundred problems. But it's
Imagine
been
she's
fun.
over there browsing like Windows 95. Adam's playing Overwatch, having a great time.
Just scrolling through Facebook, like,
His
liking
hair's all blown back because it's so awesome.
Adam,
She's gotta start
I can't
that.
load Flash.
She's got to start it in safe mode every time. Lawrence, Steph got a built PC after you, right?
Yeah.
Did you give her your hand-me-downs?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
I mean,
She also got the graphics card. Like she got a deal on the card or something, right?
It's just not. It's
Yes.
not our fault.
No.
Girls aren't gamers.
No. So
Jesus.
it was. They were still very current parts.
Yeah.
Like she can still run everything.
last 10
I only gave her the stuff that like
Guys, you can still run at
I
everything.
just imagine
worry
like
about it.
Custer's last stand.
her PC's better than mine. I gave her the hand-me-downs that don't matter. So
Yeah,
I gave
okay.
her like an old hard drive. It's just like you just need a hard drive. Fine.
Yeah.
You need some RAM. Fine. That doesn't really matter.
Lawrence's secret files don't
Basically.
open.
No, I wiped it. I don't know, man. Apparently, I'm the only one in the room who's on board.
Yeah, of course you are.
So-
did you really think that you wouldn't?
I told you the
I don't know.
quintessential video gamer.
So there's a certain disease that PC gamers get that I thought would infect all of you, which is the idea that when you're playing a game, it could be better. That's always the case. So you can get 144 hertz and you're playing and it's great, and then you got that FPS counter on, it's rock solid 144, and then your antivirus kicks in and it's like boop
Yeah,
down
it
143. Fuck! You flip the monitor like it's time to drive to
That's-
fries and buy some new shit.
That's the evil side. That's the Sith side
Yeah.
of PC gaming.
It's
the,
in
the,
deep, man.
The actual true Jedi side of PC gaming is you just want your shit to work.
Bullshit.
You want to be able to access as much as possible,
Nope.
as easily as
One
possible.
frame stutter and I quit the game. And it's time to
For me, I play Overwatch at 60 frames a second. I just want that motherfucker to not crash.
Not 144.
That's all I want.
Not 144.
His monitor can't support it.
Not
I'll
144.
I'll get a new PS4
Think if it did.
when I can no longer play the catalog on the one that we have.
Oh, right.
That's when I'll get a
you
new
need the,
one.
You need the, like the pro.
So you guys are kind of willingly
I think
not
so.
in obsolescence, but just in like main life cycle of any tech
Yeah,
products.
it won't make it. I'm not sophisticated enough in my taste to see a game in 4K and go, "Wow, this is better." Than
No, we're losing the internet.
I mean,
man.
I'll get an NX for sure.
The thing is, I am. So I like it, and
Yeah.
that was one thing I spent years doing was reviewing televisions
Yeah.
and things like that, and reviewing Blu-ray players that could do different versions of 1080p, and I could see the difference.
Yeah.
I could see 4K versus 1080p. It doesn't really matter to me that much. Unless you're some sort of video file, or that's something that's very, very important to you.
Like
that
WMV.
that bother. yeah, exactly.
Well, because we all lived through the VHS to DVD change.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big deal. That was when it was like, okay,
It
holy
went
shit.
480p to 720p, right?
Well,
Well, more
Sub-
than that.
it
it
wasn't
Not even that.
how
Was it
you
sub
even-
40p?
how you
I mean,
even
just
VHS
get
going,
wasn't released.
just going from
you're
just
right.
just a technology change, because we went from videotapes to disc to now streaming, and every step of the way I've been like, yay, these are the good steps. But now they're so incremental at this point. We're like, instead of 1080p, it's 4K, and yes, I know it's 4 times as big, and it's like bigger is better. But then at the same time, like, just because Transformers is bigger doesn't make it any less of a shitty movie. It's a fun shitty movie.
So excited.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks nice.
Yeah, but I'm like, at some point, same thing with video games. It's like, okay, like we can only go so far with visuals. Just because The Order 1886 is a amazing looking game doesn't make it fun to play.
Yeah.
Like
Shit, in fact.
They made it fun for a while. I don't know. So
sure, I mean, it's the Uncharted versus Doom thing for me. I'm like,
Oh, I see what
okay,
you mean.
yeah.
Well, I feel
Style
like
versus substance.
I was going to say, that comes down to taste.
well, people still play Pac-Man. Like a good game never goes out of fashion.
I
But
think, yeah.
I think it's still fun to enjoy aesthetic. Like Transformers is going to look like garbage in 20 years. You can still watch it when it comes out and be like,
Oh, neat. Yeah.
And to me, that's the point of a PlayStation 4 Pro. It's seeing fucking infamous Second Son in 4K. Not that it's actually going to be 4K, probably 1440p scaled up, but that at 60 FPS, like the neon segments, that'd be like a
Sure.
I don't know. As it's harder and harder to find those elements of just being wowed by tech.
I think that stuff is cool. I'm not going to pay $400 for it.
It's a chasing
Is
the
big
dragon thing. You
Like,
gotta keep
I
going
would,
back.
I would rather go to an arcade.
But that's not where tech is anymore.
I know it isn't.
I'm going to pay $600 for a GTX 1080.
That's
what I'm going to do.
That's
So-
what I would rather do because
Started
then I
looking
can
at
also do other stuff on my computer as well.
right, well-
and to me, that's adding to the convenience of the process.
Absolutely.
It means that there's more games that I'm just going to be able to click on and start. And
Yeah.
This is a little off kilter, but I'm always fearful of adopting a emerging technology that is just a fleeting
Yeah.
phase.
Absolutely.
HD DVD versus Blu-ray. I'm still feeling that heat.
You have those 3D glasses at home. You always put those on, hoping it's going to be 3D.
Yeah, like
It's just dark.
Oh, batteries
we,
died.
like, we all have like Nexus
Eyes are all
phones,
bloodshot.
Oh, yeah.
which are like Type C cables, and
yeah.
I think every day I'm like, man, am I going to be the asshole that like 2 years from now the rest of the world did not transition to Type C cables, and then
No, I
Just
think
me.
They're on the way.
I hope so.
I think, yeah, I'm with you there because I have 3 or 4 different like USB cables at home. Where I'm like, oh, it's the mini one, and then there's the one that's mini but it's a little bigger.
Yeah.
Micro and mini.
Micro,
and
yeah.
And then and then there's the one that's fat that only works for hard drives, and then there's Type C, which makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But then also my chair ran over it just a little bit, and like that's useless.
Here's my
That's gone.
3DS charger.
Yeah, it's been that it's been that way all the time, and it's actually gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it
there used to
has.
be way more proprietary cables and
Oh,
bullshit.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. I can understand those concerns, but I think it's actually gotten a little better about standards in the tech world and how long they stick around. I mean, shit, USB's still there, kind of. At
Could
least
be
USB
worse.
A.
You'd have to charge your. You could have to charge your earbuds or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
What if you wanted to listen and charge at the
Earbuds,
same
the
time?
movie?
Fuck you. That's
What are they?
How?
AirPods?
AirPods,
Ear,
Earpods.
earpods,
They-
AirPods,
Someone,
earbuds.
yeah, someone definitely called those earbuds, and they were like, "Fuck."
The iPhone? Are you talking about the iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ripping on iPhone.
That's
speaking
a,
of iPhones.
that's a hard thing to care about.
Speaking of iPhones and spending a lot of money on TVs and consoles and stuff, if you have a lot of money kicking around in your bank, maybe consider Wealthfront to manage your millions. This is the management offer I threw out at the top of the podcast. So Wealthfront is a transparent and affordable financial advisor that can help you invest your hard-earned dollars and reach your financial goals. I'm personally excited that we're having an ad read like this. Like it's not for a chips by mail service. I guess we'll see where it goes, but
Sounds like a good idea, though.
actually does, doesn't it? Wealthfront has combined world-class financial experts and Silicon Valley's best technology talent to build a modern financial services company that allows you to access your account anytime online or through your phone. I interpret that to mean they have an app, so that's good. But yeah, it's a place to manage your retirement if you're in striking distance of that. I got a 401k now. That's exciting. I get to play video games and have a retirement. Weird.
You're an adult.
I guess we'll see how it shakes out.
You're living a retirement.
I am every day. Wealthfront charges no trading commissions and is free for accounts under $10,000. So don't worry. If you're under 10K, no fees. So thank God. Wealthfront's fee is only 0.25% of the account size per year. With our unique URL, you'll get $15,000 managed for free. So that's an extra $5,000 of investing because Lord knows you got that kicking around. So please go to wealthfront.com/dudesoup. That's wealthfront.com/dudesoup. And hey, if anyone uses that, let me know because I'm curious. So thank you, Wealthfront, for your sponsorship. Don't imagine there's a lot of demographic crossover, but we'll see.
Why not?
Also, whoever's cutting the ad read, just cut it off before I said that.
Well, I was a big saver, and I always wanted to invest.
invested?
Yes, absolutely did.
Wow.
I invested at right before the tech bubble burst in 2000.
Ooh, that's a good
4K.
time.
It was a perfect time. I'd actually doubled my money in the stock market, and then it popped.
Ooh.
Oh
I
no.
lost pretty
Did you
much
pull
all
out? Oh, okay. I was about to say.
I thought you put all your money in like micro USB
No,
cables.
well, the thing was is that I was only investing.
gonna chairproof these
I invested
things.
like $750 and I doubled it.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, holy shit,
It's
this
like
is awesome.
$10,000.
Yeah, that's almost
just
$10,000.
like $10,000.
This thing you got out before those fees kicked in.
Yeah, really.
Put it all on red.
I put it all in red and black.
All right, so Sony is our savior, as we've established, but Sony sucks a dick, as I'm about to describe.
No.
So this, and speaking of rarity, because you know the new console refresh thing, all that stuff is pretty new. This is actually super new. In all my years of covering games, I've very rarely seen one company flat out throw the blame on another like this just happened. So Bethesda was trying to bring mod support to Fallout 4 for PlayStation 4.
Yes.
A couple days ago, they posted on their blog, quote, "After months of discussion with Sony, we regret to say that we have long been ready to offer mod support on PlayStation 4. Sony has informed us they will not approve user mods the way they should work, where users can do anything they want for either Fallout 4 or Skyrim Special Edition. Like you, we are disappointed by Sony's decision given the considerable time and effort we have put into this project and the amount of time our fans have waited for mod support to arrive. We consider this an important initiative and we hope to find other ways user mods can be available for our PlayStation audience. However, until Sony will allow us to offer proper mod support for PS4, that content for Fallout 4 and Skyrim on PlayStation 4 will be unavailable. We provide an update if and when the situation changes." So it's
go ahead.
exceedingly rare.
What do you think happened?
So that's a good question. I have some theories, but it's weird because, yeah, even so this kind of thing happens all the time where one company does a lot of work, the other one either stonewalls them, sandbags them, and you just never hear about it.
Yeah.
I guess in this case they announced it because they thought they could get through with it. They had to own up to their audience, but it's also, man, that's got to cause some diplomatic tension between Bethesda and Sony.
But what do you think Sony's thinking?
It's curious because Sony is starting to get a little closed off in a number of ways. There was the other issue of the cross-platform compatibility with Rocket League. There was an interview in July on IGN with Psyonix's Vice President Jeremy Dunham. His quote back then was, and this was circa July, quote, "Right now we're literally at the point where all we need is the go-ahead on the Sony side, and we can, in less than a business day, turn it on and have it up and working no problem. It'd literally take a few hours to propagate through the whole world. So we're just waiting on the permission to do so."
Wow.
Which apparently has yet to come. So Sony's getting a little walled garden, which is really interesting given how you guys were talking, especially with the Windows Xbox atmosphere is getting a little more open. It's interesting because I think as games move towards a service, you will also start to have those service owners erect walls to protect the I don't want to say value, but just like the data set of their service.
Sure.
Apple has done this for years, where they could play nice with a number of things and they choose not to because they want to create
A certain
an
experience.
ecosystem where yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And so I guess James, to your point, like what happened? All I can figure is that might be part of it. Is that
But
Sony doesn't want tit mods on their console?
Yeah.
But maybe. I guess that is the most logical thing, but it's
Or it's
weird when you
free
have
DLC.
it's not like this is like
be.
Uncharted mods. You can only get this product in one place.
Yeah.
You can get it in
And
a
it's
ton of other places.
already being offered on a competitor's
And
platform.
As of today, as of recording of this, Microsoft is totally cool with that stuff.
Which was surprising.
Which is like that seems like I understand being afraid of setting a precedent, but if there's another equally large conglomerate that is not afraid of setting a precedent, it's weird that you put your foot down. I don't know. I'm more curious about the whole situation.
The only version of events I can think of that makes sense to me is that it must be pretty deep rooted into legal issues, wherein Sony must have some kind of licensing agreement with everyone that publishes on their platform. And now that is being extended to people who aren't developers, like individuals, they have no legal process to send a contract out to every mod maker and like get them to sign away rights for something. And I'm sure Bethesda is not in the place where they can manage all those relationships either, because that's way too time consuming for something that brings in no revenue.
Couldn't that be solved? This is me just kind of playing devil's advocate, but couldn't it be solved by just, I don't know, putting in the terms of service where, like, if you're uploading a mod, you are not claiming ownership of this thing, and we're allowed to take it down at any point.
You're absolutely right, but revising a terms of service document, pushing it out to everybody, notifying them in a way that
then that just falls on Bethesda, though, right?
no, that would fall on Sony.
Really?
If theoretically it is their licensing procedure
Sure.
that's crashing
Right.
this to a halt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just have to imagine that Microsoft has their own set of licensing procedures,
Absolutely.
and they've had to tackle maybe not the exact same, depending on what their wording and actual like documentation is like, but something similar.
Isn't there like a tennis game on PlayStation or something like that actually allows for mod files? I remember someone pointed that out. They're like, yeah, it's kind of strange that this game over here has mods, but they don't let Bethesda have mods.
Huh.
Maybe it's a size issue. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, that was brought up.
Maybe
I was
Sony-
thinking what Lawrence says kind of the most appropriate, which is typically they want a certain experience. So if like there are a bunch of mods in the store and that people can put mods or mod their PlayStation, whatever, it might crash the game and it might cause a lot of problems. And I think Sony
That'd be a
sees
security risk.
that too,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
But I mean, like Sony sees that as like, well, we don't want our system to crash. Like that looks bad on Sony. So, and that's what Apple always does, because like Apple can do it. Like when you jailbreak an iPhone, it can do everything, and it's awesome. But when you just normally use an iPhone, it does a lot of, or it does a certain amount of things, simple things, very, very well. But when you jailbreak it, it slows down. It is, however, more powerful. I think the lesson though that we've learned with iOS and Android is that Android is more open market, and Android has succeeded in spades versus iOS. And
Also
I think
an
maybe
affordability.
what?
Also, like that comes down to affordability. too.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are top tier Android phones. I remember people were talking. We were talking about our Nexus phones. Like my Galaxy Edge.
Oh, yeah.
S7
Explodes in your
is
hand.
the
Yeah, yeah.
best is the best camera I
love
ever had. I'm
it.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's also really expensive.
Battery acid.
Yeah.
flying on
And
your
it
face.
doesn't use Google Fi, so I don't know why I would use it.
Well, so Microsoft may be taking a page from Android and saying like, hey, let's make our marketplace more open. Let's just like let people do what they want. Yeah, it's going to crash our Xbox. Yeah, it's going to cause problems with the game. But you know what? It's what people want, and
Falls on the game.
it falls on the game. And like maybe hopefully our audience is I guess smart enough to understand. I don't know. I'm not sure.
PlayStation
Yeah.
goes down more than Xbox.
It does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It gets DDoS'd more.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes.
I don't know, it's-
popular.
Yeah, exactly. So it is
Wear that
interesting
like
to
a badge of honor.
Yeah, kind of. It is really interesting to make that comparison. I never thought about it in quite those terms. That yeah, I guess market competitors always seem to emerge on the side of controlling everything within their ecosystem, and then being more open about their ecosystem. And openness tends to win in
Usually.
almost every circumstance.
Usually.
Well, it's sort of, I guess it's exposing sort of thing like they were talking about with like Oculus versus HTC Vive, where people were saying you can't really lock down the software to the hardware because it's just a monitor. It's just a different, it's the same tool, it just does, it performs maybe slightly differently, but ultimately it's like having a different TV. Like if you had a TV, which I guess this is kind of true, some apps, but like if you had a TV and your TV couldn't play Netflix, but mine could, or like I could only watch Michael Bay movies on my Michael Bay TV, but you couldn't because you didn't have the right TV. Wouldn't you be like,
a Bay TV?
well, think about it. I mean, like that's kind of like how games are with exclusives and stuff. It's like at this point, consoles are kind of getting to the point of like, there's a lot of shared games. There's not really a lot of exclusives anymore. So now they're just becoming budget PCs, and the PC is just becoming a expensive console. It's all just becoming the same thing, like we've been saying for years. So
Microsoft has been hammering that
Was it-
hard.
Not the
Was
Nintendo
the-
NX.
Was the
and then there's the NX.
was
The
the
Zelda
mod
machine.
workshop going to be console exclusive? So like the mods, you would have to make a mod for.
Like it wouldn't be a PC mod that can then translate.
It wouldn't be a
to console. Is that what
PC
you're
mod
asking?
in the PS4 store or the Xbox store.
I think that is the case.
So it is like you would be working on the Xbox version of Fallout 4 and make a mod that you would then be able to put out.
I think the idea was you could make a mod, put it in the workshop on any platform, and it
Okay.
would appear on any platform.
That's what
okay,
I thought.
okay. I was gonna say.
I don't know for sure because I haven't used the mod workshop in 4 at all.
I messed with it in PC, and it has a very console interface. But I know some of those things are graphically taxing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there is
That could be another issue.
because there's one thing where they're like, this thing will push rain effects to the limit.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, this has to go through some sort of approval process because
Yeah,
I
my
know they're not.
understanding was Bethesda was doing the approvals.
Yeah, I don't think they're whitelisting everything because I know there's like, remember in Batman vs Superman, the nightmare Batman, that nightmare he has when he has that like,
I do
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that.
they have a mod for that outfit in Fallout 4, which I'm
cool.
like, that's pretty rad. They probably won't allow that.
I
But
guess
you
you're
can
right,
get it on Nexus, like the Nexus mod, that's fine. But you're not gonna be able to get that on console.
I still want to get the Gay Pride Parade working in GTA 5.
Oh, that sounds
Glad
awesome.
you mentioned that. So we're rolling up on the end of the podcast here. We came to a lot of conclusions, namely that I'm the only idiot stupid enough to pay
idiot.
$400
I
for
called
No,
you
no,
the
no.
quintessential video
Thank you.
gamer.
Yeah.
You
hey,
smile real
same time,
big.
Not helping his case.
I say you're an enthusiast more than anything, and we're all mostly pessimistic, and we just want to go play Overwatch.
We just want things to be easy and fun.
yeah, we're getting old. That's
I
the
like
problem.
buying new boxes with things in them.
that
but-
smell, right?
Yeah. Speaking of smell, multiple great segues. We have the next entry in our sprawling fanfic.
That's right.
As we last left, Adam and Bruce were sharing a tender moment together.
Are we picking up where we left off?
Yeah, it's just going to take right
wow.
off. So
Okay.
they had a tender moment. The walls came down. Other walls are about to fall out. Bruce takes Adam's
Butthole
hand
walls.
and places
Butt
it on his
diamonds.
face. A moment of silence, and the two pull each other in. Adam rips Bruce's Rooster Teeth shirt, saying, "Don't worry, they've got hundreds more in the warehouse."
He's right.
Yeah.
Warehouse.
He runs his fingers through Bruce's monstrously thick chest hair. It's almost like walking barefoot through the grass. There's just something natural and right about it. Shit, here it goes. Sorry, gotta compose myself. Bruce reaches down to Adam's raging boner and sets it free.
Raging boner. That
was quick.
Just
Before,
thrashing.
before it was kind of romantic and
It's
nice.
still romantic. He leans into Adam's ear and orders him, "I want you here, hard and long." Bruce rolls over onto his stomach, and Adam begins to work on his pants.
Sewing them.
They're too short. and they don't fit you right in the crotch.
On Adam's pants or my pants? I can't tell.
He's got them halfway down Bruce's sweaty thighs when Bruce farts and starts laughing to himself.
Ew.
"Oh, sorry," he apologizes. "No." Adam stares deeply into the black hole,
Should it be brown?
getting lost in its event horizon.
No, it's probably.
Can you do it again? I can do way more than that.
Oh no. Oh no, it's not scat porn.
Not yet. Adam quickly begins plunging himself into Bruce's moist anus.
Why is it moist?
Plunging.
I guess
ready,
you
man.
Farted?
The reverberations add to the pleasure, working as a natural vibrating fleshlight. "Bruce," Adam yelps, "I'm not gonna make it, I'm gonna come." He comes.
He comes.
Deeply, sweetly. Adam, out of breath, declares, "That was the best thing I've ever felt in my life. Even better than that time we shared with Groats." "Adam," Bruce interjects, "something's happening." "What?" Adam replies. I'm going to poop." "Okay." "No," Bruce shouts. "I always poop at exactly 9:45 p.m. every day of my life. Something's wrong."
Oh no.
"Do you want me to call an ambulance?" Adam asks. "No, I can't stop it. I'm going to poop right now. Adam, can you hold my hand, Adam?" "Of course, buddy," Adam replies. He takes Bruce's hand in his. Bruce strains. His body seizes.
Is he still bent over?
think
his
so,
I think I'm still bent over, yeah, with cum in my butt.
Yeah.
"Breathe," Adam reminds him. He takes a deep breath in and then slowly lets it out. He can feel it pushing out, bursting the seams of his anus. He takes a sharp breath in, then slowly breathes through his mouth. Another spasm. He breathes.
Ew.
"I've got you, man," Adam tells him. He takes in one more breath, lets it out, and as he does so, his perineum tears itself up to the base of his scrotum and lets forth a new life.
Territory you're saying, bro.
"Is that," Bruce asks, "that's a baby. A poop baby." "We made a baby together with poop," Adam says, awe and wonder
Beautiful.
lilting in his voice. Bruce excuses himself to the restroom to clean himself up, as Adam holds the newborn in his arms.
Ew.
"What are we going to call you?" he wonders aloud. Bruce responds from the bathroom. "What do you think about Spoel?"
Oh,
Problem.
school.
Yeah. In memory of Sean and Joel.
He's too excited.
Oh,
typing the
memory of
rest
Sean and
this.
Joel.
Yeah. The thing is a bit of a typo, though. He does the Catholic thing on his chest, but wrong.
Catholic thing.
Perfect, Adam says. And we'll have to pick up that story next
Lawrence
week.
is
Yeah, I'm
crying.
crying. It's just so tender. Oh. I don't know. Do you guys ever get the eye burns?
Is that, I mean, that's when I'm like
Yeah.
gagging usually.
Oh, maybe that's what's happening now. I don't know. Sometimes my eyes just burn ferociously.
Those are called feelings, Lauren.
Okay,
Quit
I've killed
stalling.
it. I suppressed it.
Oh, wow.
So that's this week's entry.
Is there more to that story? Oh
That's
my.
the end of chapter 1, and there are
Wow.
5 chapters.
Chapter
5
1.
chapters.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Wow.
What's it?
he doesn't have to
Sorry.
use different titles either.
Yeah, Gnome
Feast
Gnome
for Crows,
Fondler.
Winds of Winter.
Reddit user Gnome
Storm of
Fondler is
Swords.
very verbose.
Yeah.
Chapter 4. Oh, 4 chapters. Sorry.
4
Oh,
chapters.
thank God.
So only 6 more weeks.
Wow.
So I think that'll wrap up this week's Dude Soup podcast. Sorry that happened to you, Bruce, but it sounds like you went through something
I'm
magical.
It's a
happy
gift
for
of
you.
life.
There you go. Stay tuned for the post show, which is coming up next. That's when we look at fan art, take questions live from the audience. And if you're listening to this after the fact, you can check out a link in the description. We're going to start linking to the post show.
Oh.
Be aware that you do have to be a Receive First member to see it, but you should maybe consider that because that's pretty great. So thanks again for watching this week. It's you guys that make all this stuff work, lets us fuck around for an hour and have fun. So we appreciate your attention and your time. And if you enjoyed this, maybe give us a little rating on iTunes or recommend it to a friend or something like that. But yeah, we'll see you next week. And stay tuned for the post show.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about networks that carry many channels that you have to subscribe to.
I'm
Weird.
not so interested in all this like controversy from the standpoint of like what it's going to do to creators. I don't think it's going to change much of anything. I love looking at this stuff in like the big picture of this is still the new frontier. Like we think of YouTube as this thing it's been around forever. No, it's still so new in regards to the medium of entertainment as we know it in like the digital industrial revolution